Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon or good evening, depending on when and where you are watching this, and welcome back to the GrianaigCreations podcast channel. This is a crafting channel, mostly knitting and crochet, but this year I hope to do more spinning and more cross stitch. My name is Kirsty, if you are not new to this channel. That wasn't right. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kirsty. My pronouns are they, them. I do identify as non-binary. And I am coming to you from a very overcast Paisley, which is a hop, skip and a jump away from Glasgow in Scotland. I have, well, first of all, this is the knitting video for January. If you watched my whip shame video, you'll have seen that I was carrying through 31 projects into the new year. That should actually be 32. I forgot about a hat for my mum. I think my mum forgot about the hat for my mum, or has just kindly not said anything. So out of those 32 projects, 3 of them were going to get frogged, and they got frogged there and then. I just decided that if I keep them in their bags, I'll just put them away and forget about them, and I'll carry them through into next year again. So right after I finished recording, as I was kind of tidying everything away, I decided that they just need to get frogged right there and then. Sorry, I've got hiccups. So yeah, those are done. They're frogged, not to be seen again if I don't decide to kind of like restart them. So like the socks, for example. But I am officially down 3 projects, but technically up 2 because I forgot about one and found it. And then I have a new cast on, which is actually nearly finished and I'm very excited about. So all that to say, here is, first of all, my only finished object so far, and it's a very small one, and that is the newborn vertebrae, which I'm knitting for one of the ladies that attends the craft group that I run. She is due in just a matter of weeks. I am a little worried on the size though. When I spoke to her last week, she said that the baby, so she's 34 weeks pregnant, but the baby is measuring at 36 weeks. So baby is big. And I don't know babies. I have not spent a lot of time around newborn babies, so I certainly don't know their sizing. And even if I had spent a lot of time around one baby, that could be very drastically different in size compared to another baby. So for example, one of my goddaughters, very, very, very premature. My other goddaughter, not premature, very big size difference. So I'm hoping this will fit, but this is the newborn vertebrae pattern, which I will link below so that you can get all the details. This is a freebie on Ravelry. Only the newborn one is free. The baby, the toddler, and the mum are all paid for patterns. At least I think it's the mum. Maybe it's adult vertebrae. I'm not really sure what the pattern's called, but this was a very quick knit. I really enjoyed knitting this. What took me the longest was the sleeves. And then once I just got like my head down and got it done, it was so fast. Like I can't believe I put off doing the sleeves for so long because they really went quite quickly. Like I got a sleeve done in an evening, and then I think I started the next one the same night and then finished it then the next night. So this is all done now. Ends are woven in. I could essentially gift this to the lady tonight because a craft group is running again tonight, but the blanket that will accompany this is not quite ready. The crochet is all done, but the ends to be woven in have not been done. And there's quite a few ends because there was like knots in the yarn and I've joined it with the second ball and so on and so forth. So I'm going to hold off on this and gift this in February, which should hopefully be closer to the due date as well. So yeah, only finished object for January so far. I could squeeze in a second finish, but we'll see how we go. So I don't know for my second project, I don't know if when I showed this last we had a full sock, but these are, sorry about that, you fell. Yeah, so my setup is not the greatest because I'm recording on my phone and I'm using a music stand that does not have the straightest of like legs essentially, so we'll see how this goes. Sorry about that. But yeah, I don't remember if I had a full sock last time I showed this one off, or if I was kind of like halfway through this one and going to start the next one, or if I'd done this one and started the second one. But this is sock 1. These are going to be for me. I use the exact same recipe for my socks. So I do a 2.25mm needle, which is a US 1. I cast on 64 stitches. I work 2x2 rib for really as long as I want. Most of the time I'll do 15 rows. That was 15, not 50. Sometimes I'll do 10, sometimes I do 20. It really depends on my, like, how I feel that day when I cast them on. And then I will do, normally I'd say if I'm doing my leg, I would go to about here, but I decided to go longer. So we're actually kind of like at the top of this blue stripe here. And the reason I went with a slightly longer leg is because these were meant to be for winter, to kind of like stick up over my boots, because sometimes my socks kind of dip down in my boots and I have to kind of like squeeze down and pull them back up. Like, I don't like it when my socks dip down. But as you can maybe tell, the fact I'm doing this as a work in progress, these are not finished and we are now out of our cold snap, so they'll be good for next year. Or when the next weather drop happens, which is bound to happen when you live in Scotland. So yeah, this is a West Yorkshire Spinners sock yarn. Forgot to finish the sock, basically tell you what I do. So I do a standard heel flap and gusset. I do my decreases, and then the stitch marker here represents the end of the decreases, so that I can count how many rows between the end and the start of my toe, which is where the next, is that? No, that's not the start of the toe. There's a big difference between where that stitch marker is and where the start of the toe actually is at the end of this green stripe. That must have just been where, that will have been where I last showed you this sock. That one, that green stitch marker will be where you last saw this. So I've done maybe like an inch and then the toe, and then the second sock is maybe about an inch and a half away from getting a toe. So I've done quite a lot on this. So again, just copied everything over. I have not bothered to try and match the socks. That does not bother me at all. So we started with purple here, and we started with blue here. And I'd say the stripes, so they would match up here. So really not that far out. But I think, like, you can tell this is a pair of socks. Like, you can just tell. Whereas with some commercial sock yarns, the repeats are really big, and if you get like halfway down, they look like completely different pairs of socks. But with this one, I think it's really obvious this is a pair. So these normally sit on my desk for when I'm trying to slow down my work pace, because otherwise, on a bad day, they'll be like, why have you not worked so much? When basically I just overwork. So when I try to slow down my pace at work, I'll just put a round or two in on my socks, and then I'll move on to the next work thing. So these will go back up onto my desk because I was working on them today during a phone call, like a meeting, and then also just in between work. The ball band for this yarn, annoyingly, is behind the camera. And because you've already fallen once, I am not going to move my setup to get it. But this is a West Yorkshire Spinners yarn. This came out just before Christmas. It's not their Christmas yarn. I don't think it's their Christmas yarn. No, I know for a fact it's not, because I got their Christmas yarn this year. But I think this is lovely. I saw this in the shop ages ago, and I just knew I had to have it and have them for me, like for socks for me. I'm not sure how much I'll have left. Like, I pull from the centre, so you can see it, like it's a very like squishy ball of yarn now because I pull from the centre out. I'm wondering if I do contrasting heels, toes and excuse me, heels, toes and cuffs, if I could maybe get a pair of shorties for my mum out of what's left. So we'll see. Those would have to be done tandem. Like I would have to ball up the yarn and then, well, cake up into 2 separate cakes of the same weight, and then see how much I could knit, like do from the toe up, and see what I would get for a pair of shorties. And my last project is so close to being finished, and this is the start of like my summer knits. Stuff I want to have for wearing in Vegas is layering pieces. I've kind of treated myself to a couple of new items of clothing, and this shirt is one of them. And I'm just kind of trying to dress better this year. I have been dressing like an absolute slob for the last couple of years, and I've always been like classed as like a tomboy, and my style kind of reflects that. But recently it's just become pure lazy, like absolute slob. And so I decided to treat myself and get a couple of new items of clothing that really made me happy. And I'm taking that purpose, like that decision to dress better and be a little bit more mindful is not the right word when it comes to clothes, in my opinion. I'm not the best at articulating, that's why you'll never find me reviewing any of these books. Oh geez. You ever just breathe wrong? But yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to be more purposeful in some of my makes this year, and I like the plans I have for the next couple of projects I want to work on. But there's certain things I really want to try and have within the next couple of months churned out, purely for going to Vegas, but also because they just bring me so much joy. Like the idea of having them brings me joy. And I'm trying to craft with purpose, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And one of the things I found the last couple of years with like the Mount Pleasant tee that I made is that I really like a knitted tee. And I've had the Tolsta tee as a pattern for a while, but haven't cast it on because I think I was having issues with the gauge. And I just decided, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to cast on with the recommended needles and just try it on all the time, because that's something I don't do. I don't try on my knits, and that's where I've had several problems. And so I just said, screw it, I'm casting on, I'll try it on and we'll see how things go. This brings me so much joy. So I'll show you just how much I've got done. Split for the sleeves. So much body. And that's the bottom. So right now, as I'm talking, when I am recording, this is maybe half an inch to an inch away from my desired length before the ribbing. Then I'm going to do 6 rows of ribbing and then cast off. So when I tried it on last night, it was just above my hip, just above. And then I put on, I think it was like an inch I managed to put on. And I was going to try it on, and then I had to feed the cat, and then I was just like, no, I'm just going to go to bed. Because I knew if I tried it on and seen how close I was to finishing, I'd stay up. And I have been so tired this week. So, oh, sorry, it just makes me so happy. This feels amazing. So this is Drops Bell. And this is a yarn I picked up for maybe, I want to say it was like just over £1 a ball. And I bought 10 balls. So this didn't cost me any more than £15 to make this top. And I would pay that and more in shops for this kind of top. And I've made this. Albeit making this top has messed with my hands something awful. But I don't care. It brings me joy. So this is like so my colour. It feels really nice on. It's really, really drapey. I could just see me walking around Vegas with this over a strappy top, with some of the like the culottes that I've bought, or the 3/4 length trousers. I don't do shorts. But yeah, again, it brings me so much joy. I'm doing the recommended needle size, which is 4mm for the ribbing and 5mm for the main body. And again, I'd say I'm between half an inch to an inch away before the ribbing. And then I think, I haven't checked the sleeves. I have not checked the pattern for what we do with the sleeves, but I'm assuming we're going to put a couple of rows on. If not, I'm going to put a couple of rows on before I then do the ribbing. I would like it to come down just a little bit further and cover up my bingo wings, basically. But this is mostly what I've been working on this whole year so far. That sounds so dramatic. It's the 16th of January. But I cast this on the 30th of December. And it's pretty much all I have worked on, because I just want the item. Like, I have nearly bought more Drops Bell yarn because of this project. I haven't. I've nearly. Sorry, I'm losing the light so quickly. It doesn't look it. Kinda doesn't look it on camera. And I'm realising the glare's really bad. Sorry, but I do need my glasses. But yeah, I've almost bought more Drops Bell because this just, it's so lovely. There's like, it's a linen, cotton, polyester blend. Annoyingly, the ball band for this is also behind you. But yeah, it's so nearly done. I could probably have this finished this weekend, and then I'll move on to my next summer / Vegas / purposeful crafting project, which I don't know what it's going to be. I swear I'm going to have to put everything in, like put them all down on a piece of paper, chuck them in like some sort of container and pick something out, because I don't know what I'm going to make. It honestly just makes me so happy. So this is the, sorry, I really should have kind of given more details. This is the Toaster Tea by Rebecca Clow of the Creabea. That's a knitting podcast here on YouTube, and I'm really tempted to try like the toaster tank, but I'm trying not to buy patterns at the moment, so maybe that'll come a couple of months away. I'm in no rush to make a tank. I really wanted a tea though. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, believe it or not, going by the colour of my hair, I was a natural redhead, and because of that comes the magical ability to burn very quickly. So I am a factor 50 SPF and hide from the sun. So if I can make teas, I am more likely to be able to cover up more of my body. I'll still be putting on a lot of sun lotion during the summer and while I'm away, but I would prefer to have coverage, basically, because sunburn sucks. But yeah, the winners of the giveaway will be announced in the next video, which will be next week or the week after. I feel like there's a hair somewhere and I can't find it. I want to give people a good chance to enter, so I will be drawing that for the next video. But I think that's me. I've got a severe itch to cast on a new project, like a real bad itch to cast on something new, but I'm going to hold off. I'm going to work on the socks, get them finished, get the toaster tea finished, and then I think I'll cast on something new after that, but also pick up an old project. I think that's how I'm going to work it. New thing, finish old thing as well. But yeah, I just have so much creativity flowing through me right now, and it's making me really, really happy. My one downside is my hands have really seized up recently between a mixture of the cold weather that we were having, thankfully that's passed for now, and then working on this one on 5mm needles. I didn't think 5mm needles would be an issue, but it turns out my hands really don't like them, which is a shame because the magpie tendencies and the V-neck magpie are worked on 6mm needles, as is the ranunculus. I knew I'd get there eventually. So I'm hoping the majority of the issue with my hands and my wrists at the moment was the cold weather, but I think I'm gonna work on projects that have slightly smaller needle size and see how I get on. But at the same point, if I cast on the bigger needle size ones, I can just take my time. I'm trying to say to myself, because I think I'm getting too excited, like, everything I make is not for Vegas. I have to remember that. I just don't have enough time. I don't even have 4 full months. I have, like, at this stage, at this date, I have 3 months. Not even, do I? 3 months. So, yeah, that's me. Again, if you have decided to kind of like zoom in on certain things, the mess behind me is a mixture of Scott and I's. These 2 bookcases are mostly mine. This one is his. We're getting a 4th one tomorrow night, and then I'll be able to move some of the knickknacks over onto the new one. I've literally got, can you see it? Like right there, there's a pile of books, new books. Yeah, we need the new bookcase. I need to read more and knit more and crochet more Yeah. I'm rambling. I also don't know what time it is, and I'm recording this on my lunch break, so I have to go check a clock and maybe make a cup of tea. Oh, hot chocolate. Sorry, I got our coffee machine up and running, but it makes hot chocolate. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this podcast. Please do like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. I am trying to grow my channel this year. Really, gotta stop saying that. But yeah, I hope you have a good one. Happy crafting. Please do stay safe. I'm gonna have to change how I say that because I can't say it. Stay safe. And until the next video, where the winner will be announced, I will catch you then. Bye.